Hey, it's me again. So, this video is to talk about wedding quotes and customizing them, and something that maybe you haven't seen before, which is the ability to customize a wedding quote on the fly in real time and watch the price change up and down as you add things, remove things, adjust the quantity of stuff. And I think it's pretty awesome. And the reason that we're doing this has to do with an article you may have read on my website about how I got so frustrated reading this article about Comcast and how they bundle channels that no one wants to watch. That I started thinking about wedding photography and how the traditional package system is kind of the same thing. If you can imagine going to McDonald's and there's no menu of anything but just combo meals. And you can't change anything. All you can order is combo meals A through Z. That's it. You can't order anything a la carte. Well, that's not... a lot of people wouldn't appreciate that. And it's kind of the same thing with wedding photography. I'm not sure how we got into this position where most wedding photographers would do a package of either A, B, C, or D, or E, and that's what you picked from. And it turned into this like 30-second buying decision for something that is a huge, important part of a wedding, and kind of diminishing its value of choosing what you're going to do and what you need, and simplifying it beyond belief, and sometimes adding in things as part of a package that you don't want. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that I've had clients for not just weddings, but all sorts of things, where there were physical products included that they just never ever get back to me on making selections and stuff. So some people just want specific things. And I'm not sure why the photography industry has adopted this packaging system by default, because it really doesn't benefit the consumer, other than saving you maybe an extra minute when you're making your decision. And it's just not worth it. So let me show you what the alternative is here. So this is exactly what, well, not this exact quote, but very similar quote to what I send out to clients now. And you'll see that they can review a quote, sign the contract online, and pay the retainer online. And they can be booked within 2 minutes. It's beautiful. It's very quick, but not so simplistic that it dumbs it down and doesn't give you choices. So let me go real quick. So at the top, there's just some instructions, and one of the big things there that I tell brides and grooms now is don't shortchange coverage for your wedding. Products you can order anytime, even months after the wedding, you can order products. But coverage, there's no way to come back the day after a wedding and start seeing the photos and you're like, these are incredible. I want more. Well, it's too late to want more. Wanting more should have been in the original decision of how much coverage you're going to get, right? So I tell people now, if you have to like put products on the back burner, let's say you want a big canvas print or a big framed print or whatever, maybe you put that on the back burner for a few months, and you'll get money from your wedding. A lot of people get cash as wedding gifts anyway. Maybe that's something you could buy after the wedding. But leading up to the wedding, the biggest thing I tell people to do is to get as much coverage as they can. So let's go through this quote really quickly and see how you can do that. So you'll see at the beginning there's a few things that are included. And for example, there's the first photographer and their first 6 hours are included. But here you'll see you can actually add, let's say I want to add 2 more hours of that primary photographer. I can just click, done. It just added it and adjusted all the price and tax and everything in real time. Beautiful. So let's say I want to go ahead and add the second photographer. Let me go ahead and add that. Bam. It added it in real time. And let's say you want to, let's say that maybe you can't, you want to make a change to that. You can remove that bonus coverage, and here it is again. Maybe you only want to add 1 hour for that primary photographer because maybe $2,600 was your budget. So there are ways that you can do all sorts of things to make it fit. Or let's say here this is the custom USB in addition to your digital download gallery. Well, everyone gets a digital download gallery, but the USB essentially is the extra $150. So maybe you remove that and say that you'll buy that later to get it below $2,500. Or so there's all sorts of things you can add here. We've even got things like expedite services, which gets your retouching on all your images way faster than anybody else. Kind of moves you to the top of the queue. And then albums and framed prints and everything else is just added here. Maybe you want a bonus photo shoot, a bridal portrait session, or a third photographer. All sorts of stuff that you can add there. And then when you're ready, you just continue. And it tells you everything. Now, in this case, normally the full amount isn't due immediately, but this was set for a wedding for next week. But normally it's just a small retainer, a small percentage for the retainer for a regular wedding. But you approve the payment schedule, and then you move on to signing the contract. And so it's a great way to step through and completely customize what you need. And we're going to keep adding more options as time goes by. Although I will say it's a balancing act. I don't want this screen of optional items to get so huge that it becomes just a wall of text and it's hard to decide what you're going to do. One of the things I'm going to be doing soon is adding little visual icons besides some of these. I think that'll help visually break it out a little bit better so it doesn't appear like a daunting wall of text. But this, to me, if you just saw what I clicked and customized in a short amount of time, wonderful. Compared to just choosing a package which has things you don't want or don't need, or maybe you don't like the quantity of something, and then you go back and forth with a photographer over customizing this and customizing a contract and blah, blah, blah. This, you just do it all yourself in real time. It's beautiful. So I hope you appreciate seeing a quick glance at that. And if you have any questions, as always, give me a shout out. Hello@briancleary.com. And thanks. Have a good one.